there, bookish friends, my name's Gabby. Thanks for stopping by my channel, Lefty Reads. Today, as in the day of filming this, not the day this will actually go up, I saw a book tag on my subscription screen, and I knew before I even clicked on the video that I would be doing this tag. Glee Book Tag. Y'all, I am in love with Glee. I watched some episodes every now and then when it was actually still airing on TV. But I just binge watched it on Netflix this summer, and I finished a few weeks ago. But I was so addicted. Like, I watched the first 3 seasons in 5 days, and I mean, they're long seasons and long episodes, but I didn't want to do anything with my life except watch Glee. And man, this show was the most emotional roller coaster of a show I have ever watched. I'm pretty sure I cried like every episode for the last 3 seasons, and I'm still not over it. So good. I might get emotional during this tag, so I apologize in advance. Basically, this tag just centers around all of the characters in Glee. It is actually a pretty old tag, and it was created by Kayla Rain, so I'll leave a link to her video down in the dingle hopper, as well as Gaby from GOODREADS video, because her video is the one I watched this morning, and she actually added a few questions to the tag. Now let's get started. The first question is for Rachel, and it is, what book have you read to be an overachiever in a fandom? And I'm obviously kicking this tag off wonderfully because I don't have an answer to this question. If I'm being honest, I don't aim to be an overachiever in anything I do in life, but also I almost never read all the extra stuff for books, like the novellas and whatnot, so I legitimately can't think of an answer for this. Question number 2 is for Kurt, my little baby, and it is, what is a book you read before it was popular? Another question I had a lot of trouble with because I just read books. I don't pay attention to how popular they are when I'm reading them. But I chose Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry, which is a book that I do not talk about enough. I love this book. I read an e-arc of this before it came out, so yeah, it wasn't very popular back then because this was a debut novel and nobody had ever really heard of Katie McGarry before, so. Question 3 is for Mercedes, who is just kind of meh in my opinion. But the question is, what book just has it all? I chose Delirium by Lauren Oliver. This is one of my all-time favorite books, and I mean, it's a series, but I kind of consider the first book a standalone. This novel has stunning writing, lots of tension, many smoochies, fantastic world building, and heartbreaking conclusion. So honestly, what more could I ask for? It's got it all going on. Question 4 is for Artie, who is one of my favorite characters and super underrated, so naturally the question is, what book needs more recognition on BookTube? And I went with Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman. This book is actually a fictional take on what led Blackbeard to be the notorious swashbuckler he's known as today. Blackbeard's early years are kind of a mystery to historians, so Casterman took matters into her own hands and imagined what could have led him to be who he is. She considers it a pre-pirate novel. It's actually more of a love story, but I have a feeling we're gonna see some more pirate shenanigans in book 2, which comes out in April 2017. I really adore this book. It is one of my favorite books of the year, and again, one I don't talk about nearly enough. The ending just punched to the gut. I'm telling you, you need to read this. Question 5 is for Tina, who just annoyed the crap out of me. The question is, what book are you just not sure whether or not you like? I picked Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell for this question. I rated this book 5 stars when I first read it, but now I don't even remember anything that happened, and I wonder if I gave it such a high rating because of the hype surrounding it. But I also read it on a long-ass plane ride from Ireland, and I was exhausted and feeling kind of icky, so I think I just need to reread this book in different circumstances to know whether or not I truly enjoy it. Question 6 is for Will. What book do you always go back to for comfort? Hands down, like hands down, this is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, which I loaned to a friend forever ago and still haven't gotten back, so I don't actually have a physical copy right now. I could honestly dedicate an entire video to this book series, but I'll just say that this is my all-time favorite series. These books have been through a lot with me, and every time I reread it, it feels like coming home, and that sounds like a Hallmark card, but it is the truth. Question number 7 is for Finn. I can't talk about him. I just can't. What book took you on an emotional roller coaster ride? We Own the Night by Ashley Posted. This book is more of a subtle emotional roller coaster. There were some really sad moments that just got me choked up. Like, I didn't actually cry, but I teared up a little. And there were just really touching moments and some really happy making moments, and my feelings were just all over the place. If you don't know what this book is, I recommend you check it out because it's so underrated and completely wonderful. Question 8 is for Quinn, my least favorite character. Ugh. But the question is, appropriately, what book does everyone love but you loathe? And before I tell you which book I chose, I'm going to preface my answer by saying I have not actually read this book, so I don't loathe the actual contents of the novel because I haven't read it. How could I dislike a book I haven't read? But what I do loathe is how this book is everywhere. It is inescapable, and I'm so sick of seeing it and hearing about it, and every time someone brings it up, I just get more and more angry. And that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. If you love this book, good for you. Not telling you that you shouldn't love it. If you get enjoyment out of this book, I am genuinely so happy for you, and it is your right to talk incessantly about how much you love it and how much you adore it. And I am not saying I think you should stop. I think you should continue to, because I do it about books that I love all the time. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop getting annoyed by the cult following this book has. I know I'm not the only person who feels this way about this book, but it is nearly impossible to vocalize any negative opinions about it without a fan jumping down your throat. And when I say I don't really have any desire to read this novel, people respond with something along the lines of, "But trust me, you really do want to read it." Well, you know what? No, I fucking don't. And you telling me what I want to read makes me way less inclined to want to read it. I'm not saying I'm never going to read it, because I actually do intend to buy it when it comes out in paperback in the US, and I probably will love it. But I'm hoping by the time that I buy it and read it that some of the craze will have died down a bit. Sorry. Rant over. On to question 9, which is for Sue, and it's what is a book you liked way more than expected? Beyond the Red by Ava J. I got an e-arc of this on NetGalley, and I actually just finished reading it a few days ago. I'm honestly shocked by how much I enjoyed it. It's hard to explain what this book is about because a lot happens, but it is a YA sci-fi book about aliens, humans, and half-bloods that takes place on a different planet. And one of the protagonists is a half-blood who gets captured by the alien queen, who is the other protagonist, and the half-blood is forced to become her secret bodyguard, and a bunch of shit goes down. It's super duper action-packed from the very beginning, and there's lots of sexual tension, so it is a winner in my eyes. Question 10 is for Sam, and that is, what newcomer would you like to see do well? And I'm not sure if this is in terms of authors or books or whatever, but I picked a new book that deserves all the success, and that is Anti-Darken by Kirsten White, because even though this is doing well so far, I wanted to take over the world because I'm obsessed with it. This is a historical reimagining of Vlad the Impaler, only if Vlad were a female named Alada. Somehow I find a way to bring this book into almost every video and blog post because it's amazing. Question 11 is for Blaine, who is actually my #1 favorite character on the show because he's precious and perfect. And the question is, what is your most romantic book choice? I didn't want to choose any Stephanie Perkins books because I feel like that's the most obvious choice, so I'm gonna go ahead with a different obvious choice, at least it's obvious to me, and say pretty much everything by Sarah Dessen. She is so good at writing everyday adorable romances. Like, no, maybe the relationship doesn't blossom in Paris, maybe there aren't any big romantic gestures, but the couples she writes are so sweet and believable, and they help each other be better, and they're all unique. I love it, and Sarah Dessen is queen. Now the next few questions are the ones that Gaby added to the tag herself. And number 12 is for Puck, and it is, who is your favorite bad boy who ended up not being so bad? I chose none other than the delightful William Herondale from Cassandra Clare's Infernal Devices series, because Will Herondale, like, you think he's a horrible person, but he's actually wonderful and amazing and the best ever. Question 13 is for Brittany S. Pierce, who is also one of my most favorite characters. And the question is, who is a funny character with the best one-liners? I think nowadays so many YA characters are funny and sarcastic and spew wonderfully clever one-liners. But I will never forget Kenji from the Shadami series by Tahara Mafi. This series just would not be the same without Kenji. He made me laugh out loud. I looked up quotes from him on GOODREADS, and here is one of his many delightful exchanges with Juliet. You know, I can sort of control it now, I tell him, beaming. I can moderate my strength levels. Good for you. I'll buy you a balloon the minute the world stops shitting on itself. I was not actually reading that out of the book. I was reading it off a screen that's right there, but I figured it would look weird if I just stood here and recited the quote, but whatever. And the final question goes to Santana, who I have very mixed feelings about. And the question is, who is a strong character who knows how to stand up for themselves and their friends? And I was so close to making it through this entire tag without repeating any books, but I had to pick Lotta from And I Darken. She is fierce AF, and she looks out for her brother Radu and her lover Mehmed in her own unique way, but like, anyone who messes with her or her loved one is very stupid. Very, very stupid, because she gets stabby sometimes. And that is all. Woo! I love this tag, and I love Glee so much, and I'm still having trouble accepting the fact that it is over, but whatever, it's fine. I'm fine, I will make it through this. I am not going to tag anyone specifically, but if you love Glee, you should do this tag because I'm just thrilled that it exists, and even though it was created like a year and a half ago, I think we need to bring it back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments how much you love Glee and who your favorite characters are, and let's just Gleek out, please. Give this video a thumbs up if you found any sort of entertainment value in it, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on when and what I post. I've left links to my other social media, including my blog, Twitter, Instagram, and GOODREADS, so hit me up on one of those sites so we can chat. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bookish friends.